Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson at Infinity Whole Health, and we have a new podcast called Words of Radiance, and that's where we try to get in here and really build love, joy, peace more and more in our own minds and let go of the old stuff that we don't want. And we also still have our Revealing Wholeness site or podcast site. That's where all the nutrition kind of things will be listed. So we have two aspects of health, dealing with the internal and the external, kind of the nutrition side. So please find those. Tonight, it's November 11th, and it is November. It is the gratitude month. I'm so excited. And so what better thing to do about gratitude than a heart series? And so this is part 1 of 2 on improving heart function. And tonight is all about what can we do external to try and help protect my heart from the damages of what happens here. Every time we think a thought, that thought, let's say it's a negative thought, it actually goes down and it actually festers in some tissue. If we have positive thoughts, all of our cells hear this wonderful message of love and hope and joy and peace, and they feel better too. It's interesting how the body works. And so I encourage you to kind of take these words in really deep in. So we're talking about 3 aspects that we can do tonight, and I'm going to give you a bonus at the end, but 3 aspects that we can do externally to try to help the heart function. So first and foremost, let's talk about feelings. When you look at the emotions that typically affect the heart, we would see them as things like hatred, cruelty, impatience. Those are the big emotions that can certainly affect the heart. And when we look at those emotions, we break them down, we realize that, and I've done podcasts on this where I talk about we have 2 emotions that we're capable of. We can experience love and we can experience fear. Now, fear grows up into a lot of different emotions. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But love grows up into things like peace, joy, happiness, serenity. That's all love generated. Now, fear will grow up into things like, if I believe that I lack, I'm afraid that I don't have enough, now I'm going to be impatient. You know what? You're wasting my time. We'll get angry. And so, if we believe we lack time, or we lack money, or we lack health, or we lack sleep, or we lack energy, or we lack, whatever, that is a fear of something that we don't have. When we look at cruelty, you know what? You hurt me. And you hurt me, and you hurt me. And so now you're all mean to me. So I'm going to be mean back. And so cruelty is because I'm afraid that if I don't protect myself by fighting back, that now I'm going to be less. And again, it's an internal issue, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. Last is hatred. And so when fear grows up into something like hatred, now we have a lot of offenses and hurts and belittling that we have taken on, and now we're just living in hatred. And that can be daunting to let go of on occasion. But if you realize that all of it is because of not having a foundation, not knowing what you are. And there's many, many techniques out there, and we could be exhaustive about it. I've done a podcast on them too, but just to give you an example of some that would help you figure out some of those beliefs that you may have interjected in your own head and not knowingly put it there. And now you're living out that belief system. And so I love Belief Breakthrough, the nine steps of belief breakthrough. I love Alexander Lloyd and the healing code. Alexander Lloyd has 12 categories in his book, The Healing Code, and number 11 deals with the heart. And he talks about the self-image and humility. And when, like the slogan for our day and age is, image is everything. That's all heart. The poster child is anybody who, let's say you got a husband and wife arguing back and forth on their way to church with kids in the back. And once they step into church, they're like, all smiles and everything's fine. Or you've got somebody who's just a wreck and miserable, and they walk into work and they're like, everything's just fine, it's all good. And they put on a good front, and they try to dress nice and put on makeup or, wear cologne, and they're a wreck. And so self-image is, and where does humility come into this? Humility is being okay with who you are and what you are. And knowing that, I'm just simply okay. I am enough. And so when we realize foundationally that we are life, it's not life that's running through us. We are life. We are love. We are eternal. We are connected, all of us. We're all in this together. And okay, so I make some mistakes and some errors, and maybe I've got some garbage on my back that I haven't let go of. But you know what? If I start unloading it and showing it to people, I become afraid that they're not going to like me for who I am. And you know what? We all have that crap, and I'm not here to judge you. And I'm at a point where I don't even care if you judge me anymore. And I want you to be so sound and so firm in your own head that you don't mind what other people say about you or think about you or do to you. It just doesn't matter anymore. Now that's a tall order to get there in one talk, but I want you to at least have a vision of the future of, could I possibly even be that way? Yes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that at the very end, but that kind of gets you in there. So other things you could do, you could work on EFT, emotional freedom technique. You could be praying ceaselessly. You could be meditating as well on the word or spiritual truths. You could be doing things like emotion code. There's a bunch of different things out there that all have merit, that are all wise to work on. If your goal is joy, peace, and happiness, and you're realizing that I don't enjoy drama, anger, hatred, just simply being not happy, I think I'm going to go for something different. That is a huge move in the right direction, and I applaud you if that's where you are right now. If you're wondering what to do next and want to dialogue a bit about it and how to go through that process, please message me. I would love and be honored to help you with that. Now, that's getting rid of negative emotions and releasing feelings, okay? Next is rest. When does the heart repair? The heart repairs from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., right smack dab in the middle of the day. When do most heart attacks happen? Lunchtime, because that's when the heart happens. Why do people wake up, rather not wake up, and they've had a heart attack and died in the middle of the night? Because the polar opposite of that 11 to 1 p.m. is that 11 p.m. to 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. So that's when the heart is most vulnerable. That's when we want to rest, especially midday. We used to take siestas and things like that. We should be bringing that back, or relaxing and having a meal with people and being joyful with folks. Next is exercise. I know some of you out there thinking, exercise, I don't want to exercise. I'm not going to tell you to exercise, by the way. In fact, I think we exercise too much. After 20 to 25 minutes of strenuous physical activity, we have depleted all the vitamin C and vitamin E in our body, and we're starting to do damage to the blood vessels and our heart tissue. And so most of you do not have the nutritional fortitude to do that. And so I want you to exercise less, maybe 12 minutes max. I was watching Tour de France and watching them cycle for 2 to 3 hours, but about every 15, 20 minutes, they would eat something because they're trying to replenish their system, because they know that their body, they're demanding a lot. And if that's you, you may want to revamp some things, and definitely catch us in 2 weeks when I'm going to look at pre and post heart scans and what did we do to fix these hearts and repair them. Same thing's going to go for you. If you're an exerciser and you love to do it, you'll want to tune in on the 25th of November, the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. That's when I'm going to release part 2 that is going to talk about what do we do nutrition-wise. So please catch that. Last bonus is offenses. We as humans take offense about almost everything. If you don't have my opinion on something, I'm offended. You know what? You cannot hurt me. I'm going to say it again. You cannot hurt me or offend me. Only I can decide to be hurt and offended by what you do. No matter what you say, do, or think about me will change who I am. And the gloriousness of this is nothing I think or do or say about myself will change the life, the love, the completeness, the joy, the infinite that I am, the spirit that I am inside forever and ever. Nothing can change that. God is unchangeable, and he created you just in his image. You are just as unchangeable as he is. Throw that in your thinking for a little bit and see what you come up with. I hope a lot of peace, joy, and happiness out of it. So, real quick take on the heart there. I hope that was helpful. Please tune in 2 weeks and get the other installment. Love to see you then. Thank you for showing up and being with us on this ride. I'm Dr. Troy Munson in Infinity Whole Health, and I'll see you next time.